Welcome to FortinetLIVE. I'm Donald Walling, and I lead Fortinet's education outreach and veterans programs globally. With me today, I have Sherron Burgess, Chair of the Board of Directors for Cyversity, one of our education outreach partners. Sherron is joining us to discuss opportunities in cybersecurity for diverse talent pools and to share some insights into her own career trajectory and experiences. Thank you for joining us today, Sherron.
Thank you for having me, Don.
Sherron, before we jump in and talk about your career, can you share more about Cyversity and the impact you are making to help diversify the cybersecurity industry?
Absolutely. So Cyversity is a nonprofit with a focus on increasing representation of women, underserved communities, and veterans in the cybersecurity space. It's really part of our mission and our goal to understand that representation and diversity matters. So as security practitioners, as we're looking to solve the next generation of security problems, we need diverse thinkers, and the industry needs more of that overall. Cyversity has been formerly known as ICMCP. We've been in existence for a number of years, and we've been working tirelessly in this area to drive more education, more opportunities for these underserved and underrepresented communities.
That's wonderful. Sherron, actually, these are some of the reasons that we're proud to partner with Cyversity as part of the Fortinet Training Institute's Education Outreach Program, where we provide your members with our industry-leading training and curriculum from our NSE certification program. And NSE stands for Network Security Expert, by the way. But through our outreach program, we work with global leaders for nonprofits to drive change in pressing cybersecurity issues. So we cultivate partnerships to help create a skilled, inclusive, and diverse cybersecurity workforce, while ensuring that we are reaching underserved and underrepresented populations, as you referenced. And this is to help close that cybersecurity skills gap with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we know that asterisk dangling over our industry is the cybersecurity skills gap. Now it's currently at about 3.4 million globally, according to IC2. It was previously 2.7 million. So we've got work to do. And to address this, we are providing opportunities for training, certification, connecting individuals with the Fortinet employer ecosystem. And we do this through partnerships such as with Cyversity. So in essence, we want to create more opportunities for more people to enter cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So to this, Sherron, on this note, tell me more about your background, your experience, your career trajectory, and what brought you to this point in your journey.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. It's always fun to talk about my background because, when you look at kind of my resume as a whole, I shouldn't be here and in the position that I'm in. And I think that's also why I'm so passionate about the work that we're doing at Cyversity, is that I would have been one of those people who would have come through that door as a non-traditional security individual. So my background is I have an undergraduate degree in Spanish with a double minor in biology and religious studies. My initial focus was on culture and people, and I just wanted to be able to talk to people. Societal issues, cultural issues was something that I was very passionate about. And then I have a master's degree in international affairs with a focus on international political security. And I started my kind of job journey working in compliance for a pharmaceutical manufacturing company, and then worked for a little while, and then went back to school, and then started my career in compliance and audit. So for all of those old school people with the SAS 70, that was one of the first things that I had, and an ISO 27000, ISO 9000 program. And at that time, many moons ago, security was trying to find its footing. So a lot of organizations didn't have formal security departments. They had a security department that also happened to do, I did software compliance, I did software vendor management, I did IT stuff. It was a bunch of different things. But this role happened to be in a security department, and that's where I got exposed to the industry of security. Kind of many moons later and certifications and experience later, just climbing the corporate ladder. I currently sit as the Chief Information Security Officer at BCD Travel. We do corporate travel management all over the world, operations in 109 countries, and my team has direct responsibility for security in 30 of those countries. And then we consult into the other 80 or so markets. And so that's my career trajectory. But again, as I pointed back to Cyversity, a lot of people that we're seeing coming into cybersecurity aren't those newbies that are coming out of college. They may be people who are interested in career transitioning. So they may be having an existing career, have been in that role for 10 years, project managers, or people who are in IT, or people who are coming from completely outside of technical backgrounds who are interested in cybersecurity. And so we help people, again, at Cyversity, to transition, to leverage the skills that they have today, not always having to start over, which I think is really important, especially for our veteran population. They have a great set of skills that they've learned through the military that they can translate and are directly correlating to the skills that we have here in cybersecurity. And so we help people with that. And those who are not always computer scientists who want to get into this space, there is room for all kinds of different types of talent and skills within cybersecurity. And that's what we do with Cyversity. And then that's how, again, I'm a direct consumer of that pathway and very much passionate, especially as a woman of color, sitting in the role of a CISO. That's how kind of pulling those together is a career trajectory, and then my passion working with Cyversity.
There's just so much to unpack there.
Oh, yeah.
That was wonderful. And actually, you set the tone for my follow-up question to that. And I appreciate your background. I have a background in IT and organizational change management on the people side. So it's wonderful to hear yours. And so as we're talking about this, what advice would you give to others interested in reskilling or upskilling in cybersecurity? And on that note, what would you say to the folks who think, I can't get into this field, it's too technical for me, or I don't have a degree, or I don't have multiple degrees, I have no technical background, or I come from, as you referenced, a non-traditional background?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. I think first there's this kind of veil of mystery around our industry in security. They always think that if you can wear a hoodie, then you can be a hacker. Like, it's more to it than that. I also think that it's important that people explore all the different kinds of roles that are part of the industry. The NICE framework that has come out, there's 52 job roles that are within the NICE framework, the National Institute of Cyber Education framework, that outlines the different types of job roles, knowledge, skills, abilities that are necessary. Oftentimes, I find that people who are transitioning into the field, they believe that hacking is the only thing, or they take a certified ethical hacker training, or they just take whatever training is offered to them. And they are not realizing, number one, all the difference. And then number two, what they are interested in, what they're passionate in, and potentially what they have a personal gift for. So hacking was never going to be the thing that I went after. Early on in my career, I had experience with shutting down Active Directory, not on purpose. So I knew that wasn't going to be my gift, but I'm excellent at process, and I did change management. I've done all kinds of different things, and the compliance and audit space is just something I was naturally good at. And so one of the things that we're introducing here in 2024 is this kind of personal assessment within Cyversity. How do you look at your own skills, your own gifts, your own talents, also the skills that you have or that you're translating from another industry, and then marrying that up with the different types of roles? I think that's important. Number one, what are you interested in? Doing an inventory of the space, and then going after, again, the training opportunities, the different types of mentorship, and the networking that would help you take those steps forward. I think all of that's necessary. And to the second part of your question around, well, how do you upskill, reskill, and the like? Working with, obviously an organization like Cyversity, there's lots of training that's available with training partners like Fortinet that we've partnered with, getting those skills in network security and network security engineering. These are partnering with those nonprofits and having someone help guide you down that pathway. Yes, you're interested in networking. Let's take these types of courses. Or yes, you look like you have an aptitude for this. Here is a path that you can explore. I think all of those things are really important. But if you just start jumping into the space and taking a lot of training, I find that individuals get discouraged because it's so hard and they don't see their way forward. So partnering definitely with an organization, becoming a member of an organization that can help guide you is critical, I think, into the journey.
And the other thing I would add, and thank you for that, by the way, the other thing I would add, and I emphasize it in all of our partner meetings, is when people get into this industry, they just don't have to go down a technical path of administrator, analyst. There are many less technical roles, operations, marketing, sales. And so there's many opportunities. So to my point about I'm not a techie, or I don't wear a hoodie, or to your point, and I don't have that technical background. And this is why going through our courses, I work actually closely with your education and partner team with Monique and Juliana, and they're busy presenting courses to your members. And even, for example, our Fortinet Certified Fundamentals course, where you can go right to the beginning and find out about the threat landscape and what is a bad actor and what is a bad email and how should you process this and proceed. Just go right to the beginning. So for those that we take all those with technical backgrounds and without technical backgrounds. So.
And Don, I think it's also important, and this is something I'm really passionate about as well. As part of that demystifying cybersecurity, is that historically, when you look at the landscape, there was a measurement of your aptitude or capability in the space with how technical you were, and I think that turned a lot of people off. And I think what we are forgetting in this, again, the idea of protecting information, data, companies, whatever it might be, is that it takes all skills. So a technical person is no better than a person who's doing GRC or audit or security awareness training. They all work together. So, there's some sayings around, well, the hand can't be upset at what the foot is doing. You need a hand and a foot to be able to do all of the things that you need to be able to do. So I think that that's important. And I'm glad to hear that that training is starting with those fundamentals that are necessary and, of course, encompassing of the space. And so all of those skills are necessary. And it's important that people understand that there's more than one path.
Absolutely. And the benefit and bonus of being a partner in our education outreach program is not just the training, but we're encouraging what we call a progressive pathway to certification. So get to a certain level of certification and you'll qualify to be able to apply for those entry-level roles. And this is our opportunity to get that representation, whether it's women, it's minorities, it's disabled, it's veterans. I also run the veterans program globally. And you hit it on the head. Veterans have many transferable skills. And we're not just even talking about unemployed veterans, there's underemployed veterans. And these are veterans and people in general who would love to play a part in the cybersecurity industry. But to that point, these transferable skills, situational analysis, being able to operate under pressure, situational awareness, these are all great attributes to have in the cybersecurity industry. So we're wrapping up commemoration and celebration of Black History Month. Between both of our organizations, we're providing opportunities for, as we discussed, much needed representation in cybersecurity. I know that Cyversity has embarked on a series of, I think you call it Cyversity Engage events throughout the month. So recognizing this, Sherron, I would like to close our discussion by asking, what does Black History Month mean to you? And I'll just put in my own little caveat that we talked about our IT backgrounds. And when I started in IT decades ago, without aging myself, and progressed through management and then senior management, I didn't see a lot of folks that looked like me. And I didn't see a lot of folks in the boardrooms that looked like me. So having an opportunity to reflect on the journey and recognize and respect the journey, but focus on current accomplishments and opportunities, to me, is a big part of Black History Month. So I'll turn it over to you And if you could share what it means to you, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's a celebration of, a bit of the struggle to be recognized as capable, competent, and a struggle of equality, and what it means to be able to do what you do well, whatever that may mean. For me, why it's important is I'm always mindful of those who've come before me, who've paved a path for me to be able to sit here, have this conversation, to have the type of role that I have, and to be able to inspire others that are coming after me. I always think that if I'm the first female CISO that you've ever met, first female Black CISO that you've ever met, when you're looking at an up and coming CISO who is also female and Black, you'll say, "Oh, I had a great experience with Sherron, and let me give someone else a chance there." And so the celebration of Black history, which Black history is American history, and it's every day. It should be celebrated every day. But it's a time to be mindful of those who've come before, and a time to be mindful of what's coming after us and making a way for that as well.
Sherron, I really enjoyed this. We might have to do this again. I really want to thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it. Thanks to those of you who joined us today. For those tuning in, don't forget to check out the Fortinet Training Institute page on the Fortinet.com website. Learn more about our programs, learn more about our training. There's all sorts of free resources available, free training available. And then, of course, explore our education, our outreach partners, and the opportunities for additional certification through them. So I really want to thank everybody for joining us. And if you are thinking about entering into cyber or changing your career track, this is a great time and a great opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you.